Hey, how's it going? Noah Kane here, and today we're going to talk about how to optimize your WordPress blog posts for SEO. If you're a WordPress website owner, odds are you've probably posted a few blog posts, but you might not be getting the traffic you want from SEO and Google. The truth is, unless you optimize your posts, you're not going to get much traffic. Fortunately, when it comes to WordPress and optimizing for Google, there are several SEO plugins that make the process pretty straightforward, at least when it comes to the basic on-page SEO techniques that help blog posts rank. So stay tuned. We're going to dive into how to optimize your WordPress posts. Make sure to stick around till the end of the video. I'll drop an extra bonus tip for you there. And make sure to hit the subscribe button below, and don't forget to ding the bell so you can catch the next video drop. Let's dive in. To start off, let's discuss what WordPress actually is and what SEO is, because there's a big difference. WordPress is a content management system, which is sometimes called a CMS. It's basically a tool that makes it easy to add content to a website, and that's whether it's a page on your site or even a blog post. Most people started out using WordPress as a blog post platform, but today it's used to make websites of all sizes and all complexities, but tons of people still use it for blogging purposes. On the other hand, SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. And while every SEO does their optimization a little bit differently, the overall goal is to create content and craft it in a way that will help it rank on Google, with the end goal to drive traffic to your website. One of the great things about working on a WordPress website is you have the ability to add plugins. This is a fantastic feature for people who aren't quite as tech savvy as a web developer, and it allows you to add different tools and features to your website that you might not be able to do without hiring someone. When it comes to those SEO plugins, there are two that stand out, and that's the Yoast SEO plugin and Rank Math. SEOs will argue over which SEO plugin is the best, but really, if you choose between these two, you're not going to go wrong, and just choose the one that feels easiest to use for you. Today, we're going to dive into how to optimize your blog posts using Yoast, and we'll walk through each feature step by step so you understand what the purpose is and what you need to pay attention to. All right, let's take a look at how to use the Yoast SEO plugin to optimize your WordPress blog posts. If you haven't already, you're going to want to log into your WordPress dashboard and download the Yoast SEO plugin. You can just go to Plugins, Add New. It'll take you to this page, and you just type in Yoast over here in the search. It'll pop up. You'll hit Install Now, then activate it. There are some settings in Yoast that you're going to want to take care of to get started. There's a setup wizard to walk you through that. I'm not going to show you that in today's video. Today, we're just going to look at how to optimize your posts once you're up and ready to roll. And the post we're working on today is 10 different ways to make a cup of coffee. Now, this is just a dummy post. The text here is not real. It's just filler. This image is, it's a cup of coffee, but outside of that, it's kind of irrelevant. And you can see I have some headings here, but nothing real, right? I'm just going to walk you through what the tool does. So to start out, you get a focus keyword phrase here, and this should be your target keyword that you're aiming to optimize your post for. And you're going to put that right there. As you saw, this face here switched from a gray circle to a red and then orange. The goal here is to get a green circle like we have over here with the Readability tool. And we can do that by using the tool and optimizing this post further. Down here, we have our mobile result and desktop result. This is showing us how our page will show up in Google. If it winds up ranking in the search results, we'll see this is our sort of title of our post. And this text down here is our meta description. And we can adjust these to our liking. So the SEO title, you could pop in here and rewrite this. In general, you want to be around 55 to 60 characters for your SEO title. This is also called the meta title sometimes. And I'm actually going to tweak this a little bit. What I like to do is, obviously, we want to incorporate our main keyword as close to the beginning of our title as possible. But we can also add in some related phrases and secondary keywords, right? So, some different ways to make coffee. We could make coffee with the French press, drip coffee, and I'm just going to say and more, right? So this fits into our SEO title and adds some enticing stuff that might encourage someone to click on this link if it were to show up. For the slug, here you want to keep things pretty concise, but you want to get the point across. So I'm going to do 10 different ways to make coffee. That's probably not perfect, but pretty close. It's short and sweet, gets the point across. And then a meta description. This is really a way for you to sort of sell the post, right? So you can dive into a little bit more of what's included. This I'm going to write one real quick. It's not going to be the best, but it'll give you an idea of what you're going to go for. So let's say if you're into coffee, you might have a favorite way to make a cup. Read more to learn about the 10 different ways to make a cup of coffee. So there you go. I fit it into the length that we're allotted here. In general, it's around like 155, 160 characters for the description. And as you move further down here into the Yoast tool, you'll see this SEO analysis section. You can open this up. And this is really the core part of what the tool helps you with outside of showing you what your result is up here. These are suggestions and recommendations for what you can do to improve this post. So as you can see down here, there are a few things we've done well. We have an image. There's a key phrase in the introduction. The length of our key phrase is good. It's in the meta description. Our description length is good. We haven't used this keyword before. According to Yoast, the length of this post is solid. The length of our SEO title is solid, and we also use the keyword in the slug. So we've done a few things well here already, but it also is saying we could improve some things. So our image key phrase does not have the topic of the text. So that's actually the image alt text here. So if you click on your image, you can write this alt text here, and this is supposed to describe what this image is about. I could probably find a better image than this. And ideally, you actually want images that you've created or your client has created. That can be helpful because then your text is going to be more specific to what the post is about. In this case, I'm going to write, person holding a cup of coffee. So now that's updated, and that should have pleased this. So image key phrase is now good, right? The idea here is you're going to go through these things and hopefully make this turn from orange to green. I'm going to mess with the keyword density, key phrase density here. I've used the key phrase twice so far. It wants me to use it 3 times. So let's just pop it in. Different ways to make a cup of coffee. All right, so we've taken care of that. And I'm also going to pop the key phrase in the another heading here. It's not an exact match, but it's partial. So as you can see, I did that, and now it's turned green, right? So that's the goal there, right? You want to optimize enough of this stuff as possible to turn this to green. Obviously, I'm using some dummy text here, so I really want to drive home to you that just because the face is green does not mean you've done a good job optimizing the post. You want to do proper keyword research, proper content planning, and really make sure you're targeting something you can compete with. Just turning this green is not going to solve all your problems. It's really just a tool you can use to help optimize your post. So really keep that in mind. Just because the face is green doesn't mean anything. There are even instances where I've had this remain orange and I've had a really good post. So you want to use the tool, but don't let the tool use you, if you understand what I'm saying there. So other items down here we haven't looked at yet. So outbound links are links that go to other websites. That might be a website you researched the topic on, or maybe sharing a product or something, some data from, and it'll be good to link to those pages. Internal links are links to other pages on your website. Those can be really important for topical relevance and connecting ideas and different topics across your website. I'm going to dive into that some more. later in the video. And then here you can see, this is kind of what I was talking about before with things not needing to be exact. So our key phrase in our title of the post is not an exact match to the focused keyword, right? And really important you understand this part. The keyword you find that has good search volume and that you want to rank for might not have a natural flow to it when you write it into your post. And that's okay. It does not need to be an exact match. If it's a partial match and you write a good blog post, Google's going to understand that you're targeting this keyword, right? So the keyword I went for is different ways to make coffee. I made my post 10 different ways to make a cup of coffee. That's totally fine, right? They're more or less the same topic. Google's going to understand that. Outside of these items down here, some things you want to keep in mind. Headlines are super important. So you may not know this, but the title of your post, once you publish it and look at your post, this is going to, in most instances, be an H1 tag, an H1 heading tag. That's going to be the HTML element it's wrapped in. And as you can see here, the next heading I have in my post, this is like basically a section. I had this named section 2 before. I'm going to change that back real quick. So this is an H2. And what this is communicating is that, the title of our post was an H1. That's heading 1. Now we have a new section, and that's going to be an H2. And so we're starting to build a hierarchy within our post. And down here, I have a subheading within this section 2. And that's an H3. Okay? So you see where this is going, right? You're helping provide some structure to your post. The reason we want to structure our post this way is for 2 reasons. The first one is that the person who's reading this post, it's a better user experience, right? They can easily scan the post, find the sections they want to read. It's actually going to increase the amount of time they're on the page because they can go to the sections they want, find the information they want to read, instead of searching aimlessly and maybe popping back to Google to search for another post that has a better experience. On top of that, this structure also helps communicate to Google what each part of the post is about. And I've seen in my experience in many instances that optimizing your heading structure properly can help pull out information into featured snippets and other parts of the of Google search features on the search result page, which could help drive more traffic to your site. So really important that you optimize your headings for those 2 reasons. Highly encourage it. Outside of that, some other things you want to take a look at here in the Yoast plugin. If you sign up for Premium, you can add related key phrases. There are also other features in Premium that are pretty sweet. Not going to dive into those at the moment in this video. That might be a video for another day. Same thing with Cornerstone content. That'll be another video for a different day. And these advanced settings, you can probably, if you're just getting started, this is really just kind of a walkthrough of how to get started. Ignore these for now. This should be set up with how you want it to be set up to start off with. But we'll dive into that in a different video. Before you go live, though, some other things you can look at. Readability. In most cases, I don't pay a ton of attention to this, but if you're finding your posts aren't, ranking very well, you might want to work on these items here. But you want your post to be readable, and these features do help with that. There's also schema. Again, for the most part, you can ignore this tab. This is going to be set to what you want it to be. This is a post, and it can be an article. That's basically what this blog post is. And then the last thing here, that this is actually something you might want to tweak, is the social preview. So for Facebook and Twitter, you can add specific images that you want to show up when you share this on Facebook or Twitter, and update the title and description for those specific platforms. That's a pretty nice feature. Highly encourage you to at least add an image and your meta title and description. It can be the exact same one that you've added over here. But you also might want to experiment with tweaking those a bit for your audiences on Facebook and Twitter. So I hope you found this helpful. I'm going to dive into a couple more tips after this section here. Keep watching. As promised, we're going to dive into some bonus tips for helping your posts rank as well. The first one of those is internal linking. And as you'll notice in the Yoast plugin, it does recommend adding some internal links to your blog posts. And there are two ways you can use these. The first way is you're going to link keywords and phrases in your brand new blog post that you just posted to other relevant content on your website. And what this does is help build topical authority for your website. And the big trick here is you want to make sure you use a keyword that you want to rank for on another page. So if you had a page about the best espresso machines and you wrote a post about different types of ways to make coffee, right? And then you had a second post that was about the best espresso machines, you might add a link to the phrase best espresso machine on your ways to make coffee blog posts, right? So that's one example there. And the other thing you can do is you can link from other pages on your website to this new blog post. And by linking in this way, you're going to help build topical authority for your website and connect different ideas across your website in the eyes of Google. So at the end of the day, your goal is to show Google you have the topical authority and expertise on the topic you're discussing, and that'll help this post rank a little faster. It also will help the crawlers find the post easier and connect the dots for you. And then there's bonus tip number 2. Once you post your blog post and you've optimized it, one extra trick you can do is to go submit that new blog post to be crawled on Google Search Console. If you haven't already, you can add your website to Google Search Console, and this allows you to keep track of your impressions and clicks on Google, and also to keep an eye out for any sort of penalties or issues that pop up on your site. But one of the great features is you can also submit your sitemap, which tells Google which pages to crawl on your website, and also new posts like a brand new blog post. So I recommend you add your website to Google Search Console and submit your post to be crawled, because this will help it get indexed faster. The third bonus tip I have is after you have posted your blog post, you should also share it on social media and with your email list. The reason this is that sharing on social media and to your email list will drive traffic to that blog post and send some positive signals that people are engaging with this content. So that way, once your post ranks, it's going to have a higher chance of being shared and potentially linked to from other websites if enough people engage with and share content on social media. It's a great way to gain traction for your website and to leverage the network you've built off of your site. So, is this all you need to get your WordPress blog post to rank on Google? The truth is, it depends. Some keywords are more competitive than others, and others are pretty easy to rank for. It really depends on the niche that you're writing in. If you write a great blog post and do all the optimizations in this video and you're still not ranking, you're probably going to need to dive into some other SEO techniques like backlink building to help improve the authority of your website, and that way you'll have a greater chance of ranking. Another thing you can do is just post more content. Sometimes you just need to prove more topical authority and have more content on your website, get some more backlinks, and then over time, your website might have a better chance to rank. I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.